Hi all. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about something else related to gut health today, prebiotics and probiotics, and why you want to be thoughtful of these things for your kids. The lining of our digestive systems, and really our whole body, is made up of millions and millions of microscopic organisms. And the bugs that are in our digestive system play a huge role in our health, from short-term health, long-term health benefits, and mood. And so there's beneficial bacteria and there's more harmful bacteria that exist in our bodies. And I'm super passionate about kids getting what they need to feed that beneficial bacteria. I strongly believe that what kids eat and some other factors that affect health can set them up for long-term success. So one way to address a happy and healthy gut in our kids is to feed them prebiotics and probiotics. So on a day-to-day basis, the beneficial bacteria help us out a lot. So here's some benefits. 1, they help digest food. 2, they protect us from harmful bacteria. 3, they produce vitamins like thiamine, riboflavin, vitamin B12, vitamin K. 4, they enhance the absorption of some minerals. 5, they help regulate the immune system. 6, they help strengthen the tissue in our bowel wall. All really beneficial things. And so you can kind of see how having a lot of the good beneficial bacteria can set us up for long-term health. But researchers are really just starting to study all the many ways that the health of our digestive system and this beneficial bacteria impacts our health. And so they look at the types of bugs that are in people's guts with chronic conditions. And what they find is that there's this, they're out of balance. They don't have as many of the beneficial bacteria as other people without chronic conditions. These chronic conditions include things like inflammatory bowel disease and asthma, behavioral disorders like autism, autoimmune disorders like rheumatoid arthritis and lupus, and cardiovascular disease and obesity. So this is why I'm super passionate about what we feed our kids, because we're just learning that what we feed them affects what's in their guts, affects that beneficial bacteria, and having they call it dysbiosis, but basically the balance of good and bad bacteria in your gut can cause or is related to some of these conditions that, we maybe develop later in life. So how do we influence this good beneficial bacteria in our kids' guts? So we're finding out that the beneficial bacteria and our digestive health is related to many things: sleep, stress, medications, and diet. I am going to focus on diet. So there's 2 things that impact these beneficial bacteria from your diet, basically, that I want to talk about, and that's prebiotics and probiotics. So what is the difference between these 2? Prebiotics are non-digestive fibers that are selectively fermented by the beneficial bacteria in our digestive system. It's a mouthful, but basically this is why I encourage fiber, and I encourage fruits and vegetables, because that fiber that's in fruits and vegetables is prebiotics, and it's feeding the good bacteria in our kids' guts. So other things that are prebiotics: whole grains, legumes, beans, and lentils, nuts and seeds, and some very specific good sources of prebiotics are Jerusalem artichokes, and then what I think of as a standard artichoke, and bananas, and onions, and garlic, and leeks. These are all really good sources of prebiotics, okay, that are gonna feed the bacteria that we want in our gut. Okay, and probiotics are the live bacteria and yeast that are in your digestive system that are beneficial. not that it's controversial, but like most people consider probiotics like you take a supplement and they know that it's that kind of bacteria, that beneficial bacteria that's in there, and they know how much is in there. And so we consider those like probiotics. You still get some probiotics when you eat things like fermented foods. It's just not quite as known like how much beneficial bacteria may exist in some of those foods. But I usually encourage like consumption of fermented foods because again, you're generally feeding your gut with these like active probiotic type cultures. Okay, so that's things like yogurt and kefir and sauerkraut and kimchi and my favorite, kombucha. So these are good things to introduce to your kids. If they like pickled foods, like trying something like sauerkraut with them just to see how they take it. But obviously you could do like yogurt and kefir is a really good source of fermented foods and like probiotics. So the point is you really want to be feeding your kids' digestive system in a way to nourish these beneficial bacteria. And it's helpful, it can be in the short term for things like diarrhea and constipation, like really helping gut health. But it's also just super helpful for the possibility of preventing these long-term chronic conditions. And just sort of as a summary, so we kind of focused on the dietary stuff. So how can you nourish your kids' beneficial bacteria? Well, obviously, like fiber, like I was talking about, eating fermented foods. Another really important part of this is the variety. A variety of plant-based foods, different fruits and vegetables, different whole grains, because different bacteria like different things. So that's another important part. And then just overall things about health and nourishing these beneficial bacteria. Let your kids get dirty, playing in the dirt, trying to, I know it's hard in the time of COVID, but less hand sanitizer on a regular basis. So more washing your kids' hands with soap and water, lots of good sleep, ways to reduce stress if your kids are stressed out, and encouraging activity. These are all ways that we know that help support this beneficial bacteria in our kids' guts. So just really thinking about those things that keep our kids healthy, those things also are benefiting those little microbes in our kids' digestive system. And as always, if you like this, please subscribe. And if you want some more on digestive health type videos, I've done a video on preventing constipation in kids, and I've also done one on whole grains and all the benefits of whole grains and types of whole grains. Okay, thanks for watching.